Hello, welcome to the Cup Night channel. My name is Shane, and today this is a segment of Tarot the News. So, yeah, the article I picked today is about Neuralink. Very controversial technology here, all about brain implants and the power of thought to control machines and devices. I think this. I only read the first part. I haven't read the whole thing just to see if I wanted to do a reading on this, and I think there's some cool stuff here. So, um, I think this is an awesome application of this technology. Obviously, like anything, it's a double-edged sword. It can be used for good and evil. In this case, I think this is a net positive display of the good things we can do with this technology. So, we're going to use this as material for our reading and see what message comes through. Um, to start off, there is on the pre-shuffle on the bottom, I got the Four of Cups. So this card can be interpreted in many different ways. In this particular case, the energy I'm getting from it is this. It's kind of what the article is about, right? It's like this person is sitting there and maybe controlling this item that's floating in the air in some way using his thoughts, right? It's like in cups, they are often associated with psychic energy, emotions, but um, there is kind of a special link between emotions and psychic energy in some people's understanding of it. So there's this idea of like psychic energy or using your thoughts in order to have an influence on something outside of you, outside of your physical body, right? So that's kind of how I'm seeing this. And then we also have the mask. So the mask is also very interesting and, endless ways to interpret this card. In this case, I'm seeing this as it's like using your thoughts to inhabit this thing outside of you, right? It's like this thing outside of you is a mask in some way. It's an extension of you because you now have the ability to control it with your thoughts alone, right? So it's like you are somehow injecting an innermost part of you into this thing that is outside of you. Yeah, so this I already like where this is going, but I do want to draw some different cards to get an overall theme for where this message might be headed. So I'll do a little bit of a shuffle here and see what else wants to come through. Okay, let's see here. Oh, kind of a messy shuffle I'm doing right now. um, oh, okay. All right, so there's kind of a stack that came out. We have the Nine of Cups on the bottom there. This is like self satisfaction or being very pleased with the outcome of something. Some people call it the wish fulfillment card. So I would definitely say this situation here, you'll see once we start reading it, is kind of like a wish come true. It's a dream come true in some ways. So that feels very relevant here. We have the Four of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, the Five of Pentacles, and the High Priestess. So, some people say the Four of Pentacles is like a stagnant energy because he's sitting there still and he's clutching this pinnacle here. In this scenario, this person that the article is about has ALS, so he literally can't like move his body. So I think this is just a confirmation of that. The Page of Pentacles, this is a new opportunity, which is what this Neuralink implant is giving Brad Smith, the focus of this article. It's giving him a new way of interfacing with the world, right? This is giving him the freedom of movement, Knight of Wands. Um, maybe even like this like passionate energy because it it's increasing his ability to interface with the world. So new avenues are now open to him, right? Five of Pentacles can be a card referencing sickness, and since we are talking about ALS in this article, I think this is just a confirmation of that. And then we have the High Priestess here, which is like it's an inner knowing, but it's also like secrets and like internality. So, right, that's kind of how the brain implant works. It's your thoughts. Your thoughts are not necessarily obvious to everyone else, but in this case, the brain implant makes it possible to convert those inner secrets, those inner desires, intentions into things and transmit them out into the world through external devices. Uh, yeah, okay. So that's kind of a lot of cards before we've even started the reading. I do just want to grab one archetype. I'll do a quick shuffle on this one. All right. So we have the offering. The offering in the womb on the bottom. So there's the womb and the offering. So the womb is like this also internal energy, right? It's like the thing that's hidden inside that is like being created. Um, and once again, that's kind of like the idea of the Neuralink, right? It has to be it's inside, right? It's something that allows the thoughts, the creativity of your thoughts to be expressed in new ways. Okay, let's dive a little bit into this and see what else comes out. So Brad Smith can now watch his children play soccer and capture family moments by controlling a motorized webcam with his thoughts alone, thanks to a collaboration between Neuralink and camera maker Insta360 that has given the Arizona father of three a new way to engage with the world around him. Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. It doesn't matter what you think about this technology, the fact that he can do that now is just life changing. That's so beautiful. Smith, 44, from Gilbert, Arizona, became the first person with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, to receive a Neuralink brain-computer interface in November 2024. Now working with engineers from Insta360, he uses the implant to control an Insta360 Link to webcam, panning, tilting, and capturing photos and videos of his family without moving a muscle. The setup allows me to look around, take photos and videos, and engage with my family in ways I couldn't before, restoring a sense of mobility in my gaze, Smith said in a newly released documentary titled A Second Pair of Eyes. Life no longer feels static. It's dynamic and engaging once more. Dynamic and engaging energy. Knight of Wands. Yeah, this is great. And, I fair warning here, I'm going to extrapolate the meaning behind the story to something more abstract that can apply to many people. While this is a very specific story about a very particular person who is battling this condition that he has, and there can be a lot of loaded emotions around such things. I just want to give like a warning ahead of time that I'm not trying to diminish his particular situation in any way. It's just that I do believe that everything is a message for everyone in at some level, right? So what I'm going to do is take this and kind of extrapolate um, spiritual lessons from the story, right? And this one is rather interesting to me because what I'm picking up on here is this idea of like our senses beyond our physical limitations, right? It's this the psi, right? The psychic abilities of people. Because I do believe that we have the ability to tap into energies. We all do. It's just a matter of cultivating those abilities and enhancing them, right? Because it's like if you were to never use your left arm, let's say, if I were to just like literally never send any signals to my left arm at all and just let it hang there, eventually it would start to atrophy. The muscles would start to atrophy. I would lose connection to this appendage because I'm not using it, right? So it's the same kind of thing with psychic abilities, in my opinion. If you don't try to cultivate them, if you don't work them out, then you lose them, right? You lose access to such things. It's often thought that children are heavily tuned in to the energies around them and their environment because they're not polluted by the ways of this world, right? By the layers of difficulties and challenges in this life. They're very pure and innocent and open to the energies around them. So they're just like heavily psychic, essentially, right? They're very much in tune with the energy around them. So it's the same kind of idea. If you don't keep that childlike mindset regarding your abilities in order to pick up on things and the subtle energies in the environment, then eventually you lose touch with it. But you can always cultivate it again, right? So that's kind of the what the cards are speaking to me about. Yeah, and this idea of cultivation coming through with the womb, right? It's like you are growing this new ability, right? This thing inside of you that maybe you didn't recognize before, but now you're aware of it, and now it is providing these new opportunities. It's giving you these new offerings, right? Or it's allowing you to provide different things to the world around you. It's allowing you to interact and give to the world in new ways. Especially with, I mean, the High Priestess is like the psychic card of the deck. She is that like medium, right? She's very in tune with spirit and or the energy of the environment, if you want to think of it that way. Yeah, and with the Five of Pentacles, that's this idea of kind of like being cut off from something, being left out of something, separated from, right? They're on the outside in the cold. There's this reconnection with something internal. And in this case, for Brad Smith, I mean, he's literally regaining abilities that he completely lost due to ALS. So, yeah. All right, let's go a little bit further into the next section here. From isolation to connection. Oh, just that title, there's so much there. Yeah. Okay, we'll read this section and then I'll talk a little bit about it. The breakthrough addresses one of Smith's most painful losses since his ALS diagnosis in 2018, the inability to turn his head to see his children playing or to follow conversations naturally. Previously, Smith relied on an infrared eye tracking system called eye gaze for communication, but the device only worked in low lighting and confined him to dark rooms. With the Link 2's motorized two-axis gimbal controlled by his Neuralink implant via a MacBook Pro, Smith can now go outdoors in sunlight, watch his kids' soccer games, and capture family moments he had been missing for years. I can now pan to see their laughter, games, and growth in real time, he said in the documentary, which was released this week. Insta360 customized the webcam specifically for Smith after noticing he was using a standard Link 2 with Neuralink. Engineers modified the control logic to make camera movements more efficient, allowing Smith to move the camera further with the same neural commands. The standard Link 2 model rotates at a speed of 5 degrees per second, which is fine for everyday scenarios, but puts a hard limit on his reaction time. Insta360 explained in a statement. Yeah, okay, so this just makes me want to cry. It's so beautiful. Like, it's amazing what technology can do for people going through things like these. Like, yeah. But on a more abstract level, from the specifics of this particular story, there's this narrative of literally the title says it all, from isolation to connection, right? It's like it's this idea of things that have been keeping you on the outs, this Five of Pentacles energy, keeping you from connection with others, keeping you separated and alone, isolated. Like it's this idea of that like softening, right? It's like this reconnection to people who are important to you, maybe even new people. Maybe you haven't really had anyone that you've ever really been able to connect with on a very deep level. Um, and this is talking about the end of such a thing, right? So I'm going to pull some more cards to see what wants to come through regarding that message. The Hermit, isolation. This is the card of isolation, right? But it's not like isolation for isolation's sake. It's isolation with a purpose. It's like self-reflection and really discovering who you are and learning about your peculiarities, like what are your challenges in life. Um, yeah, it's this card of really having to go within, right? And I can't imagine having like ALS and not being able to. It kind of forces you into such a position, right? Like I imagine that he has had a lot of time to really go deep and self-reflect about his life and the people in his life, and in some way that's a really beautiful thing. Um, but the fact that you know there are others out there that are doing the work in order to help people with this condition with ALS to have like to expand their abilities to interact with this physical world we live in is just, yeah, I can't say it enough. It's so, it just melts my heart. But yeah, solitary energy coming through here. Let's see what else wants to come through. You may have been in a period of isolation for maybe quite a while, um, and the message coming through here is that it could be some light on the horizon, right? The darkness you have been in alone could be coming to an end. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be like physically alone. There could be people around you, but feeling alone is quite a different thing, right? Ha, okay. The devil. Limitations, restrictions, boundaries, also fears, also could be addictions in some way. Um, yeah. There may be things outside of your control that have put you in this state of isolation. And while it may not seem fair or logical, it could have been for a very specific purpose. We can't always fully come to know and understand ourselves when we are entrenched in group dynamics that may not be the best for us. I don't know. It's kind of the feeling I'm getting from this. It's almost like some people call it a divine intervention. Um, you could see it as a necessary retreat, right? To give you this time and space to really go within and understand yourself on a very deep level and come, face to face. I just realized I didn't cover this card up, but to really come face to face with these fears, these limitations, these blockages that you may not have been aware of before. But it seems like you are aware of them now. And, I'm getting this sense of overcoming. All right, let's get one more. New cups. Very internalized energy again. She's studying that cup very deeply, very intently. And that cup is a reflection of herself. It's the like sacred space within. To me, it's the heart. Whenever I see a single cup like that, it's the heart space. It's like the things that really make you who you are. It's the core essence of your being, right? And so, yeah, that's kind of what's coming through on this part here. But I want to know, like, is this coming to an end? Is this period coming? Oh, yeah. Look at that. Okay. So we have the Three of Pentacles, and we also have the Queen of Swords. So this is like letting it out, right? It's like, to me, the Queen of Swords is like she's an internal energy, but she's like, look at her hand gesture. She's like, I will speak on this. It's like she's communicating about the internal processes that have taken place. And then the Three of Pentacles is all about collaboration, community, working together, building something new. Yeah. So it's almost like there's some advice here to those things that you have been holding inside to reach out, and that's how you will find your community. You know, it's like initiating. Feminine energy is not typically seen as like initiatory energy, but in this case, I'm seeing it that way because she's extending her hand and she's holding that sword upright and her heads are above the cloud, right? Like she's seeing clearly now. She knows exactly what's going on with her inside on a deep level because she's been the Queen of Cups. And now it's like if you step into this where you're willing to share the things about yourself that maybe you weren't so willing to share before, that's going to bring you to this collaborative energy in order to build something great for the world, whatever that may be for you. Okay, let's read this last. I think this is the last section here, yeah. Expanding brain-computer interface technology. Smith is among 12 people worldwide who have received Neuralink's N1 implant as of September, collectively accumulating over 15,000 hours of device use. The coin-sized implant sits in the brain's motor cortex with ultra-thin threads that transmit neural signals wirelessly to external devices. Neuralink, co-founded by Elon Musk, has expanded clinical trials to the United Kingdom and Canada in recent months. In October, a patient at University College London Hospitals became the first UK recipient and was able to control a computer with his thoughts just hours after surgery. So yeah, it's kind of just talking about the technology itself here, but yeah, which is really cool. I obviously, like I said, this could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. It just depends on how people use it. It's all about intention, right? Everything boils down to intention because everything can be weaponized if you so intend it to be. I mean, even our fists, right? They are literally attached to us. We have weapons on us in our whole body. It could be used as a weapon. It's just the intent, right? So I think the message overall here is one about cultivating your internal abilities, those things within you that maybe you have lost touch with, that you are now starting to take another look at and being like, wait, actually, this is really meaningful to me. There's a lot of value here. I should cultivate this. And that doesn't necessarily have to be psychic abilities, although there does seem to be a heavy emphasis on this with the, wireless transmission of thought kind of idea coming through. But it could be, you know, carpentry, woodworking, things like that, playing music, writing, poetry, whatever. Like insert X thing here that you feel deeply inside. Like that's what it is for you. So I'm gonna get a little bit more just to round out this reading. Let's get some advice. What is the advice? Okay. All right. Well, I think this one card will do it, and then I'll take the one on the bottom too. Okay. So we have the devil coming through here again on the bottom, and also the Ten of Wands. And as you can see here, he's carrying a large bundle of wands that are kind of like blocking his vision, but he's still marching forward. It's kind of like this card of like burdens in some way, or like taking on a lot of energy. the devil kind of represents that as well. It's like this blockage energy again, right? So this as advice to me is that you don't have to do it all on your own. Um, you may not be able to find your connections right away, but the only way to do it is to put yourself out there, right? So it's like in whatever way you can, with whoever you feel comfortable with, even, and that's not even, sometimes we have to step out of our comfort zones in order to find people who are like us or who at least vibe with us. So don't take on too much on your own because I can't even imagine how many people were involved in making this technology real. Like the history behind this is probably insane. I don't really know much about the history of brain implants, um, but I bet it's a really interesting story full of lots of interesting characters. So you don't have to do it all on your own. That's the advice. Just to boil it down very simply and without me rambling on for too long. You don't have to do it all on your own. You might even be receiving some offer of assistance with the offering coming out early on in the reading. So I'm going to draw one more archetype and then that'll be it. This was, this story is just so touching and awesome. Like the technology is really cool. The fact that this man can now interact with his family in the world in this way once more is just, that's priceless, right? Okay, we have the mystic. Yeah, this archetype to me is all about finding meaning in things, which is, there's so much meaning in this article to me, in the story and the narrative here, and also the real implications of such things. So, that's kind of what this is about. That's what these readings are about for me, is like finding the connections between the stories we read about and ourselves and our communities and the earth, the solar system, the universe, everything, all of it, all the way up and down the layers. I do fully believe everything is connected and that we can find meaning everywhere if we so choose to. It's just that idea of, once again, connecting with that thing inside of you that shows you that meaning, right? That brings that to the surface, looking beyond the physicality of things, which is one way to interpret the devil card, right? It's like this is the illusion of material life, right? But there's so much more beyond that. There's so much more beyond just the physical things that we can experience with our senses, with our, you know, our classical senses, I'll call them, our eyes, our ears, our nose, our mouth. I do believe there is much more beyond that, and we only have to choose to interact with it in order to experience it. So, all right, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you have any suggestions about particular stories that you'd like me to possibly do a reading on, I will consider it. Just put it in the comments below. Or if you have any specific thoughts on this message or this story in particular, yeah, shout it out in the comments below. Thanks for being here. As always, take care of yourselves. Keep your heart open. Bye.